It's just too green. Hey, welcome to Imperfect Builds. I'm Levi. Thanks for coming. Today we're going to be running through some weathering techniques that you can use on your 3D printed helmets, props, weapons, tools, whatever you have, you can use these techniques for that. So you can achieve results like this weathered Bo-Katan helmet. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve results like that with just some few basic items. Some items you could even find at home. We're going to be doing it on this awesome Halo helmet. Let's get this thing battle worn. When it comes to weathering, guys, you want to take your time, enjoy it, have fun. This is probably one of my favorite things to do when finishing props, just because it's so much fun to just add that little detail to your prop or your item that you've been working so hard on, that it's really like adding the finishing touches. Because once we're done with this weathering, there's really not much more to do other than to display the helmet or wear it or whatever you plan on doing with it. My method of what I'm about to show you is not the right way, because there is no right way. This is a creative process, and you really just have to do it and experiment and try, and don't be afraid to fail or mess up, because everything is fixable. You can fix it. Let's get into it. We're going to start with the black acrylic paint, and I use the lid of a spray bottle, and I just put some black acrylic into the paint cup. And then once I add the black acrylic, I then add a little bit of water to dilute it. Then you can start using the black acrylic to paint into these corners, these edges, these fine little corners here, and kind of spread it back where dirt and dust will collect normally in a real environment. If Master Chief was in battle and fighting the Covenant, well, there's going to be dirt and mud, Covenant blood all over his helmet. So you really want to focus on those corners of the helmet and those really kind of hard spots to get where contact and fingers don't really touch the helmet much. So that's where you're going to focus on a lot with the weathering, especially like this top groove here, these corners, a little bit under this lip right here, right behind these top vents. You're looking for places that dust and dirt and grime will collect. So let's mix this black acrylic up. Add a little bit of black. Don't need that much. You can take a little bit of water. I got a little bit of water in here. You kind of want it to be a little bit runny, diluted. That way when you wipe it on, you can just wipe it off. If you get too much on, it's not super thick and it's easy to wipe off. You're going to want to keep around a dirty microfiber towel or cloth, whatever you want to use. And I'm going to go ahead and work in these little corner lines right here. So I'm going to move into using this and just running it through the crack. It's okay if it spreads a little bit because you're going to wipe it off. So once you get it into that crack right there, I'll set the paintbrush down, take my microfiber, and I'll wipe. And as you can see, it's starting to leave these like streak marks, right? You can kind of clean those up a little bit, wipe them off, but you want to take it and really run it right in that corner again, and just keep doing that over and over again until you get to a result that you like, a nice buildup of that black, that grime, whatever you're really looking for. And then wipe again. And I like that because it's creating these dirty streak marks, these dirty streak lines, and it's really filling in that gap. And it's hard to see, but you can see that dirt streak that kind of just drug across the face. And on this side, you don't have to do as much. Maybe it's just a little bit dirtier on the left side than it is on the right side. So that's where the creative part comes into this, guys, and that's where you guys just gotta kind of feel what you want and how you want it to look. So I'm gonna keep building this up because I want it to get nice and grimy and dirty. And you can blot it and kind of splotch it a little bit. You don't have to wipe it, and it's really starting to build up that dirt and grime right there. And see, I got a little bit too much on there, which is fine because I'll just kind of run it and scrub it off. And that's okay. That's really looking pretty ideal of what I want. And I don't want this paint job to look like a clear, beautiful paint job. I want this thing to look dirty and like Master Chief just got out of battle with it. And you can kind of just tap it. You don't have to run the paintbrush. You can just tap and splot it on and then go back through and blotch it. And then you're starting to get these nice dirty ingroves. And then you can take some streaks here, kind of run it across the paint, and just wipe it. So with this paint, it's a little brighter than what I wanted it to be. So I'm going to run this paintbrush over the paint a little bit to almost add like a black wash, a dirt film on the entire helmet. And that even, just that alone has darkened it up more than like up top here. I can tell it's even getting darker down here. So another thing I want to show you guys is using some graphite powder. And I know I've shown you guys this for how to make like plastic into metal, and I showed you in one of my last videos, but I did test this out already, and those were my results on bottom there. It added like that really gunky gunmetal, like gunpowder look to the helmet, and I thought it looked absolutely awesome. So with this, right, when we were talking about it in the last video, I said to use a lot to get that really nice chrome metallic finish. With this and doing it to add that dirty look, you want to use very, very little. Like as you can see, I put just a tiny bit on this and I got as much off of it as I could. And then we'll run right across this back edge here. But you could just take it and start running it through. And oh my gosh, it works so well. That's the left side. That's your right side, nice and clean, and it adds this really like dark, like burned look, almost like burned fire look to it, which I think looks awesome. So I'm gonna rub this in as much as I can before I try to dip again for more, because I really don't want to use a lot of this. And I know you guys are telling me I should use a respirator, but I'm not using really enough to be worried about. I have good ventilation in here. So, see, that was even too much. So I'll just take it and I'll run it now. And spread it as much as I can. So after that, it adds that really dirty, kind of gunky look to it. And I like that like little black spot we got there. Almost like he got hit there by a needle or something and it exploded on the back. But I think that looks pretty awesome. Right across those corner edges too is where I really want to get into it. Kind of like the metal's starting to show through the helmet.
Come on, brain. Think, brain. We're gonna die.
Like almost like the paint job is fading. The metal's starting to show. And like I said, I haven't reapplied any at all. And that is looking pretty awesome if you ask me. I really like that darkening look that it's given those corner edges. So I'm gonna run this around all the edges pretty much and just try and get them darkened up as much as possible. So I'm just choosing every edge that I can find and I'm just running this graphite powder through these edges. And that is looking awesome. I just love how that's just really darkening up those edges. It's really taking the work out of it. I just wanted to show you the black acrylic, but this is honestly giving it a really cool look that I love. So let's do a little before and after shot, right? So we'll focus on these corners right here. So I'm just gonna apply it and just really I'm just scrubbing it in as hard as I can, getting any residual off the cotton ball that I can, because I don't want to add too much. Tell me that doesn't look awesome. And it's really helping too to define those corner lines on the helmet. So there's the before, and there's the after. before, after, and that's looking pretty awesome to me. So here's what we're getting, guys. We're running it all around those edges, getting that thing really dirtied up. We still haven't even touched that, so there's your before, and then those edges you're seeing are really darkening in, looking really nice. Gonna go ahead and do these corners now. I like it because it's starting to give it that really nice, like almost cartoonish video game like look to it. It's not like so much realistic as that it looks like it's almost in the game. So as I'm applying it to these edges, I'm really like scrubbing it in, and I'm not too worried about scuffing the paint at all. Once I'm done, I'm going to clear coat this helmet, and it's going to seal everything in. And so there you go. There's those back edges done on top. And if there's a little bit more on one side than the other, it's not as dirty on the other side or something, that's okay. I don't want this thing to be symmetrical. And I don't want this thing to be perfect. Not whatsoever. But here's that side. So here's this side that I did in that corner. And then here's the other side that I haven't done. So I mean, I really like the look of these results. You guys don't have to do this. This is, like I said in the beginning, it's a creative process. It's however you enjoy it and however it looks nice to you. And I'm trying to keep it off the black because I don't want the black to get that chrome look to it. So be careful if you're running and doing it around a black.
Oh, and don't forget to swish and flick the of your wand like this.
Now I'm going to take my file and I'm going to lightly just kind of scuff these edges up. You can do this with a file, with sandpaper, but I want these front corner pieces here to really look like they've gotten beat up. Like I said, guys, don't be afraid to really, you're not going to screw your helmet up because you're battle wearing it. And when you battle wear something, it's not supposed to look pretty and perfect and just phenomenal. It's meant to look chipped up, worn out, beat up. And those are the results you're going for. If you don't want to, if you worry too much about screwing your helmet up, then don't weather it. Keep it perfect and pristine, and that's perfectly fine too. So, as you can see, it's bringing that green out again, and it's really starting to expose that fresh green paint underneath and kind of mix that graphite powder and color, and it's really just kind of blending everything nicely like it's been beat up and it's dirty and scuffed. And that's kind of what we're going for. So to spare you guys this time, I'm just going to explain the rest of what I did. It's just a rinse and repeat of what I've already shown you. So I applied some more black acrylic, that wash that I made, and then wiped it away with the microfiber, allowing it to kind of darken that really bright green up that I really was trying to get it darker and darker, and it was working pretty well. I went around the edges, filed down the corners, got those scuff marks in the places that I wanted them to be, where all those high contact surface areas are. And then I finished up by going back over with the graphite powder and just touching up all the edges and corners and really getting it darkened up and really getting that burned, hardened war battle paint look to it. Alright guys, so we just finished applying all the graphite powder to this helmet, and I think it looks awesome. Tell me that that doesn't look just phenomenal. I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but I think it looks great. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, but with really committing to using that graphite powder and light shades and working it into those corners, this thing has came out phenomenal. I love it. I think it looks really good in the right on those edges. The edges look dirty and scuffed, and just it really highlights the design of the helmet. It really brings out those detailed lines and cracks, and it really makes it look beautifully three-dimensional and just an awesome iconic helmet from one of my favorite games of all time, Halo. And let's get the visor put back in it and see what this thing looks like finished. Bam. Well, while we were putting the visor in, I ended up breaking it. So I'm going to have to get a new visor, figure out what I'm going to do for that. But here it is, finished. I know I gave you some action shots, but I'll show you a little bit more. Still have to do the lights. We got to paint them black in here. And I just have to mask the lights off for that. I'll get that done soon. If you guys would like to see a lighting tutorial on how I put the lights in here and how I'm going to wire the switch in and everything, let me know down in the comments if I should do a video like that, if you guys would be interested in seeing something like that, because I can definitely do that. And it's a very easy what I did, and I think you guys would figure it out no problem. Here's the helmet finished. I think it looks awesome. That graphite powder works amazing. Killed lots of Covenant, Flood. Well, guys, that's the method I used to weather that helmet, and I think the graphite powder works absolutely amazing. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to see next, what you guys didn't or did like about the video. I really appreciate you guys watching. I love you all. Don't forget, perfection's overrated. Have a great night.